Walker's truck is running good.
Ish.
Mine's throwing us a little bit of a curveball. It's not too much of a curveball.
Curveball.
Things have just been happening since I bought this truck that I'm only just now putting enough mileage on it to like really feel out its individual problems as a vehicle. The guy who had it immediately before me. It sounds like he basically did all the fuel delivery components up front. So he did, I mean, this is one of the only shiny things in here. The fuel pressure regulator, the injectors, and a fuel filter. He was still having fuel issues sometimes, intermittently. So he thought fuel pump was going bad. I had, after this deep freeze, my first very apparent fuel pump issue. The other day, it was really cold. Hadn't started the truck for like 5 days because I was up in my girlfriend's house for the deep freeze.
The deep freeze.
The deep freeze. Didn't even do anything here, really. I went to start it, wouldn't start. It was cranking strong, wouldn't start. I didn't hear the fuel pump priming. Checked fuse, fuel pump, fuse, all the fuses were fine. I couldn't, start it and come hear the fuel pump relay, but I'm pretty sure that's fine because I unplugged it and the terminals look fine. I didn't have like a test light or multimeter with me. And once it got warmer, it like very much sounded like the pump freed up and it cranked up and then it died. And then it cranked up again, idled kind of rough, and then it started to kind of stabilize as it warmed up.
When did you bought this truck in the summertime, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if he had this problem in the winter and then it went away, and that's why he didn't never replace the fuel pump. It went away when it warmed up.
Could be.
And then he just never replaced it until he sold it to you.
Based off of when it gave me trouble, that makes sense too.
Yeah, for sure.
I went and revved it with my head sticking out the truck, and I could hear a grind noise.
It's more like a straining noise.
It's like a buzz.
Grind. Yeah, it's a buzz.
Yeah, I'd give it like what feels like around 3,000 RPM, and then right as the revs start to drop, you could hear it buzz. All that to say, we're pretty confident this is a fuel pump issue, considering everything else is new, and the old owner literally gave me a fuel pump with the truck. Now, I did ask you guys on Instagram, and a lot of y'all thought I should just do the whole pump assembly. We're not going to be completing this job today anyway, but we're going to take it all apart and get a look at stuff, and then that'll be what makes me decide if I'm just going to put the pump in or get a whole assembly. Before we start taking the bed off and stuff, we're going to show y'all how it sounds. If we were being really thorough, the only reason we're not like doing testing fuel pressure, unplugging vacuum, unplugging return, the only reason we're not doing all that is because I'm pretty sure the old owner didn't. See if you hear the fuel pump relay click.
Fuel pump relay is the one in the back. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard that? It's like a psst.
Yeah. Yeah. Smells like a go-kart track that has their running too.
Yeah.
Too rich.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah, dude, it smells like gas. It smells like rich. You can do this by just dropping the tank, but that's kind of a pain in the ass. And if you have the space and a buddy, you can pull the bed off and it's way easier. You said it's a 14, right?
Yes, 14, I have it.
6 mounts, 14s. One at the end of the frame, one about a foot ahead of it, and then one up at the back of the cab. Another thing you need to do is disconnect the wiring harness for all the lights. Dude, I need me some scoggles. Getting dust.
Stoggles.
Oh.
You keep saying scoggles.
Scoggles! Sponsor us. Dude, this beefy connector is difficult to get. There it is. Ay, yo. Let's take the tailgate out too to make it lighter. If you've never taken the tailgate off of one of these trucks, guys, it's pretty easy. I love these hinges. You just give it a little bit of slack, pull it the other way, get it to about like 90, and then it just unhooks. And then line up this little piece, and then it pulls out, and boom, tailgate off. You rested? An important step that I just forgot to do. You want to undo your fuel neck. Also, don't lose or break your bed mounting hardware, because unless you have a parts truck you can go find.
They're not going to be able to get those.
Yeah, you can't find these anywhere. Now, this thing should be open sesame. Ready? I mean, we already knew my truck was pretty much rust-free, but we can really see how rust-free it is now. Dude, this looks so funny.
It does. It looks hilarious.
Shout out low hard buddies.
Yeah.
Oh. We're gonna push the bed into this area, and then we're gonna back the truck up to like here. We're gonna give everything a good spray. All right, frame is real clean. This thing cleaned up nice, I dare say. Real clean, real cool, real clean. Before we're ready to start disassembling anything, we're gonna go ahead and relieve the fuel pressure. Excuse my annoying door chime. Apparently, we never noticed it seems to be wired to the door, even when the lights and the key are out. But whatever. Fourth from the right, 10 amp. Pull that fuse. Oh, don't lose it. To actually relieve the pressure, you then start the truck. And you let it run till it dies. Did you hear how quick it just died?
Yeah.
I feel like that's proof that there wasn't much fuel pressure, because there would have been more fuel in the lines.
Yeah.
It would have run longer than like 2 seconds. You have like a jumper harness. I've seen it called that. I don't know if that's technically accurate. It goes from the top of the assembly to, there's a plug right down there by the frame. You can unplug it at whichever one is more convenient. You will have to take the whole jumper harness out though if you're replacing the whole assembly. Pretty much all the new production assemblies that I've seen, like it doesn't have this connector. It just runs straight from the top of the assembly to your harness by the frame.
There you go.
You gotta be careful, I don't wanna get a bunch of shit in my gas tank. You got 6 10 mils. They're also got Phillips heads on them. At the top of the assembly, holding it to the gas tank. The fuel pump that the guy gave me with this truck, true grade, I don't know if that's any good. The pump in this package looks identical to that one, at least at first glance. Boom. Is that a dent? Does this thing have a dent in it? This is kind of hard to pull out if you're just replacing the pump. So, dude, this is broken.
What?
It's broken in the box. I took a further inspection of the pump that was in the box and it's broken. Somebody dropped this thing at some point. Snapped the nipple off. That sucks. Not a total loss. We'll keep this for the pickup screen, the hose clamps. Everything in here but the pump we'll keep this for. That sucks though. I have to buy new shit. This is how this is gonna live until the new part comes in. Darn it. Dang it. Yeah, bummer. But what you gonna do, you know? What's up, y'all? Walker's not here. He got in a fight with some poison ivy, and he lost. Yeah, it's been about a week. Been waiting on this US Motor Works off of Rock Auto. It's the only one I saw that looks the same as this. There's another style that I'm pretty sure is for Japanese-made trucks that has a different situation right here. This one was still listed as Japanese-made, even though I'm pretty sure this is the American-made style. But yeah. First things first, gotta undo that harness because jumper harness is built into the new unit. That plug is like kind of sandwiched between the frame and the gas tank right down here. And once I do that, I just gotta undo these 2 hoses and then pop it out. Pop this one in, bing bang boom. Disconnect this here. Heck yeah. And then this one has a little mount. It looks like it would go where this empty mount is. I just checked some resources. This is indeed where that harness is supposed to be mounted. So someone's been in here, as evident by newer, different type of hose clamp right here. Somebody didn't put that harness in the right spot. Hoses came off. This one needed a little extra motivation. Before I undo this stuff again, I want to make absolutely sure there's no dirt and debris getting up in my tank. Because my tank, when we took the pump out the other day, it looks really clean in there. $8 mils. I would use a socket, but I don't think I have any of the smaller socket sizes here. I think those are in Walker's toolbox. Alright. Here she comes. Probably gonna end up reusing this seal. It doesn't seem to be in too bad a shape. Let's go compare old versus new. Overall length looks pretty much the same. This definitely doesn't look as premium as the original. Plastic, metal. I don't know. But the connection's the same. The overall length is the same. The caps are the same. I think it'll be fine. I'm gonna line this up. This is the orientation of the gas lines. Alright, it all lines up right. It's got a little spring in the bottom. The old one did have that spring. It was just very worn out and not very springy. There it is. That was a royal pain in the butt. Having your harness in the wrong spot down there is not ideal. That was really hard to connect for some reason. I did try to undo the bolts for the tank just so I could maybe make just enough space to slide the harness up to where it's supposed to be. Those bolts are rusted and hard to break free. It's just gonna live down there for now. Not ideal, but it's plugged in. I gotta wait for my dad to get back from what he's doing because I'll need his help to put the bed back on the truck. But I wanna go ahead and start this thing up. So let's put the fuse back. Cool. Gotta reconnect the battery. We're gonna prime this thing up a few times, and I'm gonna see if she goes. Well, I heard it kick on. Alright, prime number 3. We'll do it 5 or 6 times. Neutral. Oh, that wasn't good. What is that? I'm thinking this bad battery terminal is finally catching up with me because this thing can't get tight with the condition this is in. Each time I actually try to crank the truck up, it just doesn't, it dies. So I think this must be my issue. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these guys in. These are a little cheap, picked them up a while back. We actually have some for Walker's truck too. Look at that. This thing was just shearing itself through. It's cracked out right there. We'll see how these go. You know, they look cool. Hopefully they do more than just look pretty. For this stuff that goes through your fusible links and stuff, there are these little side posts where you can clamp it down. Look at that. New battery terminal swept on, what, 10 minutes? Alright, let's see if that indeed was the no start. Well, she's idling. Sounds healthier. You can hear that thing wearing away. I think that buzzing noise after revving, I think that's gone. Seems good to me. Alright. Moving on. Next up, my bed bushings. One was completely missing, and all of them look a little. You can't really buy those. I mean, you could probably get other types of bushings and make them work. But they seem like they're like between 1/8 and 1/4 inch thick rubber. You got one on the bottom side of the bolt and then one up top. Some people say they use tires. Other people have recommended like old mud flaps from like semi trucks. I don't have either of those and I don't want to go buy stuff. So I'm gonna cut up this old tire. It's a little thin, so I'm probably gonna have to layer it up a little bit. The bed mount bushings aren't really necessary. A lot of people were just like, oh, I just ran a bunch of washers and played with the height to get it to line up with the cab. So that's what we're gonna do, but with this. Whoo! One side down. Forearm workout for the day, let me tell you. Finally. These are the bushings original. These go between the frame and the bed. These go on the bottom of the frame where the nut and washer are. You can see the washer's made a good indent in there. This bike tire is a little bit thinner than this material was. Top and bottom, I'm just gonna double up on chunks of this tire. When it cranks down, it should compress and it should be close enough. I'm not looking for perfect. I'm sure this bed is gonna come off again at some point. All right. I only had this much rubber left, so if you're using a bike tire, you should be good. See if I can use this hole saw, bit, set, whatever. Look at that. Symmetrical. Fit test. Boom. That'll do just fine. It'll probably compress. And if I really don't like it, the bed sits too high, I can always loosen it a little bit and pull one of these out. I feel good about it. Cool. Most of these fell off, but I think I should be able to get them back where they're supposed to be, no issue. These are the top piece where each of the bed mounts are. It sits through the bed like that and like kind of locks in with these parts. It's all tight down. The bed's a tad high. I'm not mad about it for now. Maybe next time we take the bed off, just take one of those layers out of bushing, but this thing's good to go. Now it's just a matter of doing this harness. Ka-chow. Put this nub in. It's time for a little test drive. Let's see how she does. Feels good so far. It's gained, for sure has gained a little bit of throttle. It idles so much smoother, for sure. Give it a little bit of throttle. Oh yeah, she sounds much healthier in general. Yeah, okay. We can bring her back to the shop. This is great. Like all around, more responsive. All right, I dare say this was a success. It felt much better. Idle was way more stable. Throttle felt much better. I'm always skeptical to call something a win too early, but that felt really good. I'm stoked. I did also get a fuel filter, but the one in there is new. Like it probably only has less than 1,000 miles on it. So, you know, just have that one in reserve. It was only like $8. I'm stoked. This is great. All right, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see y'all in the next one.